Hello, it's John Heaton, and this evening I'm going to review this album from Elton John from 1978, released on the 16th of October 1978. And this was his follow-up to, if you don't count Greatest Hits, it was his follow-up to the double album Blue Moves. And this cover was taken in the grounds of Windsor Castle, I believe, and called A Single Man, because he was single at the time, or he wasn't married, or he hadn't even come out actually at this stage. So quite a nice cover. Actually, it's one of the first 5 albums I bought in my record buying history, so very fond memories of this one. I loved it at the time. I still have a soft spot for it now. Maybe there are other Elton albums which are better. By the way, I picked up this picture sleeve, which is very nice. Some of these picture sleeves are rare, but this particular one isn't too rare. I saw it for sale for about £20 in London recently, so this is not priceless, but it's very nice to have. Not that I was planning to sell it, of course. So what can we say about this album? So there was a single before this album called Ego, which was a flop and is not included on this album, but this was well received, I think, at the time, although I don't remember reading too many reviews, and I haven't bothered to read any reviews of it since. The thing to notice about it is he's no longer working with Bernie Taupin in terms of Bernie writing the lyrics. He's collaborating with a guy called Gary Osborne, and I think Gary Osborne writes some good lyrics. Obviously, they're not quite in the same style as Bernie Taupin, but the melodies that Elton comes up with are as good as Blue Moves for sure, and maybe even stronger. I don't think the music is the problem on this album, and I don't think the lyrics are particularly a problem unless you're really fussy about that kind of thing. You know, there's some nice love songs. There's a song about part-time love, which is a bit annoying maybe, but a bit like Stevie Wonder when he wrote that song Part-Time Lover. It's a bit innocuous and cheap, but I love the song. So what can I say? But the album starts off absolutely brilliantly with Shine On Through, and he did a few promotional concerts or performances to push this album. And I remember one, I don't know if it was the Morecambe and Wise show, where he did a solo piano version of this song, Shine On Through, and I learned to play this one on the piano myself, and I think it's one of my favourite piano songs of his. I know he's done a lot, but I absolutely love it. The verse, the chorus, everything. I think it's top-notch Elton and a great opener to the album. And then Return to Paradise is a very catchy song. I love it, and again, the songwriting is of a good standard in my opinion. Blue Moves was a double album which maybe failed to maintain the standard over that length of an album, but on here, for the main part, I think his songs are probably stronger, and this song is a really nice song. Okay, it's middle of the road, if you want to call it that, and it's catchy, it's commercial, and it doesn't rock very hard, but I love it. And then I Don't Care is a kind of piano-driven, faster number, like Elton is famous for, and I like it a lot. It's not my favourite. Big Dipper, he got the football team of Watford to join in on the vocals, and I was just reading that Elton went to Moscow and did this album live, and then that prompted the Soviet authorities to release this album in Russia, and they did so, but they omitted Part-Time Love and they omitted Big Dipper because of the subject matter of the songs, which is a bit strange, but anyway. Big Dipper is pretty harmless, certainly these days. In 1978 it might have raised a few eyebrows, I don't know. It's pretty harmless as far as I'm concerned, and amusing. And It Ain't Gonna Be Easy is closing side one, a bit reminiscent of, I've seen that movie too, which closes side two of Yellow Brick Road. It goes on a little bit too long, and it's nothing particularly to distinguish it. It's quite a nice verse and chorus, but it's a little bit repetitive, and it goes on, I don't know what the length is, but it's like 5 or 6 minutes, and it's a little bit too long. Side two opens with Part-Time Love, which is an absolutely very commercial single and was released as a single and did well, and Elton promoted this on Top of the Pops, I believe. And lyrics notwithstanding, I love the track. I absolutely love it. I think you play this one loud, it's great. And then I don't know, I'm holding up the cover because it's not the greatest cover in the world, is it? But anyway, I'll hold up the picture sleeve maybe. So Georgia is next, which is a gorgeous piano ballad. And it's not talking about Georgia. Which Georgia is he talking about? I think it's the Georgia in the US, actually, not the Georgia in USSR. So, very, very nice words, sentimental for sure. Middle of the road, if you want to call it that, but I love it. I think it's up there with Elton's top piano ballads. And then Shooting Star is a kind of okay ballad, nothing much to say about it. Madness is a rocker which tries hard to be meaningful but ends up being quite dismissible. I'm not really a fan of this track. I mean, it rocks along nicely, but it's not got too much substance once you take away the drums and stuff. Reverie is a kind of slight instrumental, but then the album finishes very strongly with Song for Guy, which was written for a messenger who worked for Elton's record company, whose first name was Guy, and he got killed in a motorbike accident. So this song is written for him, and I'm sure there's many amateur piano players out there like me who discovered this song among their first in terms of songs to learn on the piano, because we were grateful that it was in the key of C, so it's not that difficult to learn, and it sounds good. When one plays it to an audience, it makes one sound like a pretty competent pianist, but it's not very difficult to play. And so thank you, Elton, for giving me Song for Guy as an easier road into how to play the piano, because it's a lot easier to play a song in the key of C than it is to play a song in the key of F sharp major, shall we say. So I love this album. What else is there to say about it? The musicians, got the lyrics here, and the musicians, the thing that I noticed the most is Davy Johnson does play on Part-Time Love, I think, just on the one track. Yeah. Other than that, he's using new musicians. Like on bass, you've got Clive Franks, Tim Brennick on guitar, who played with Dylan, Ray Cooper is still on percussion, and on drums you've got Steve Holley, who the same year as this album came out, in fact, I think by the time this album came out he'd already joined Wings, and he would stay with them for the Back to the Egg album and tour. So Steve Holley's on this. That's a nice bit of Beatle linkage for you. So I think this album is very strong, and I think we struggled to come up with an album as strong as this in the years after this. 21 at 33 was a decent album, and Jump Up had its moments, and Too Low for Zero had its moments. Whereas the immediate follow-up to this, Victim of Love, which was a covers album, was a bit of a disaster. So this was probably his greatest album, or his last great album, really. I mean, he did do a few latter day good albums in the 2000s, but for the next 15 years I think this was his best effort. And I know I'm bound to say that because people say I'm stuck in the 70s or whatever, and I had an impressionable age when this album came out and all that, but Elton, I think you did us proud here, and I love the simplicity of the songs and the melodies, and I love the lyrics, Gary Osborne, so thank you, good effort, thanks for watching, see you next time.